I'm going to show you how to create a stereo mix from a mono source without doing any manual sort of separation work that is usually really a lot of work to do properly to get good sounds. And instead we're going to be using ISSE, freeware open source program, which uses machine learning to do all the heavy separation work for us. And to separate our mono source, we need a stereo mix of a comparable recording, which has obviously two discrete stereo channels, which we can use to control or to tell ISSE which of the material should go into which channel. And to prepare everything, we need those two tracks, the reference and the thing that we'd like to separate. We need them preferably in lossless quality, and I'm going to separate Misery Take 2, and my reference will be Misery Take 1, which is in stereo. And I'll just load both tracks into Audacity. Here they are. This is stereo. As you can see, the channels are separate and different, and this is a double channel mono file. This is Misery Take 2. This is what we'll be separating. So the first thing is split this fake stereo or double channel mono file into one channel, and this is all we'll need from this one. And then we align the stereo file roughly with this one. You can see here this is the intro, and you see this one here is a breakdown, so we'll just use this section here as a reference and consequently delete the rest. This is important because the longer your files get, the longer it takes for ISSE to process them, and it is it is well possible that it may crash on very long files. Okay, now we can split this in precisely the same way to two mono files, and now we'll tack them onto the end of our of the file we want to separate. Just leave a little bit of blank space between, so you can then see which belongs to which. Okay, now we have to export these as wave files, mono wave files, and use 32-bit float. Okay, let's call this ISSE. ISSE. Right, now we can take this file we have just created and load it into ISSE, and simply drag and drop it here. Now you see the spectra of both. We can draw just the input, so we have just a single view, and it is usually good to change the visualization settings a bit to set the clipping to maybe -80. Alright, so this is the mono file. This is the left channel and this is the right channel. So now how do we tell ISSE which of the channels or which of the material from here should go into the first or the second channel? We'll use the training brush for this, which is this one here, and currently it's it will be marking as source 1. And so now what we do is simply paint all over our left channel, and it'll become completely blue. And now we change the color here to source number 2, which is red, and we do the same for the right channel. And now we have these as our references or our templates. And now when we turn on processing, first we turn off all the tools here by clicking on the arrow, so we can't break anything. Now when we turn on processing here, ISSE will first learn how the blue selection looks like, and how the red selection looks like and what's characteristic about them. And then it will apply this knowledge onto the mono file that we have not selected. And it will then separate the mono source into two channels according to what it has learned from these training sections. And you see it takes a little while. It takes longer the longer the files get, obviously, and if they are too long, they tend to crash. So be careful and experiment with short files, and you get good results quickly. Okay, while this is processing, we can switch to the multi-pane view, which will soon populate with 2 new graphs once processing is complete. And then you will have some sort of matrix which show you where everything goes into which channel. And then all we need to do is basically take the output channels and mix them down. Okay, processing is complete. Turn on processing here by clicking this button again. And now you see we have the separation here. This is what will become our left channel. You see this has all the drums and the rhythm, and this will become the right channel. This has all the vocals. And now basically we're done here with ISSE. So all we need to do, oh yeah, this happens often. The export or save all functions are grayed out. To fix this, repeatedly click this one here. This is some sort of bug that happens really often. And also click play, pause, and just press spacebar, and do so repeatedly. And eventually that tends to fix it. I simply don't know why it does this, but you see now it's working. There's no real explanation for this. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. It tends to happen more often the longer the files become. So I seldom get it when processing short files. So now we just go to File, Export Audio, and select the folder where the files should go. And this is it. Here we have them. Here we have the original mix, which is a complete exact duplicate of this one, so we don't need it. And then the interesting bits are these two here. These are the sources. So we load them back into Audacity. Oops. Yes. There they are. Now, of course, we have this matrix here with the left channel template and right channel template still attached to our separation, and we can simply delete them. Here, snap to the end of the source file and select the rest and delete it. And now we can also delete our source file, and then we pan these channels from the separation, say 90% left and 90% right. Obviously the separation acquired by or done by ISSE won't be perfect, so going for 100% separation might lead to artifacts. You can even go maybe just 80%. It's a bit safer, and it sounds much more believable. And now what we need to do is to render these two tracks into a stereo track, and now they're locked together, and we can play it back. And the vocals are coming from the right side, and now the rhythm is coming from the left side. And that's it. It's really simple and usually a relatively quick process, at least compared to doing the separation manually. Now just export the final file, misery take 2 stereo. And we're done.